going on today. So they line up on the grid, ready to go. Waiting for the all clear from the back from Claire down there, one of our team of highly attentive start line folk.
There's the green flag, so all eyes to the lights. Clutches in, lights are on, out go the lights, and from the second row, filtering his way through, that is the number 221 of Keaton Leatherland, making his way towards the front of the field. In fact, it is going to be Keaton Leatherland who leads the charge on that red and black Yamaha R6 round riches for the first time of 7. As you said, Keith, it will be a split start, and we do have the green flag at the back. So when they're ready, the Open 500s will get the signal to look to the lights, and there it is. So again, clutches in, click it into first gear, eyes on the lights, which are on, they're out, and as you'd expect, the 4-stroke of 79, Sean Crone gets hooked up nicely, but then when the power comes in for Bruce Dunn, he quickly comes back by and will take the race lead as they go into riches on that lovely Yamaha TZ250.
Is that Keaton Leatherland leading the way? I don't think it is Keaton, actually, into Agostini. To see if your youthful eyes can pick them up a little bit better. The other problem, of course, is that everybody's wearing an orange vest, which doesn't make life easy, does it?
No, you're right. That's not Keaton Leatherland out in front,
good. Somebody with the white
and yeah, it looks as though there was a yellow flag up there at
okay.
well, which is unfortunate for whoever that may be. Of course, we will get an update when they come across the line at the end of lap number 1, or in fact when they don't come across the line, because they won't be registered with a time.
Certainly not Bruce Dunn, Sean Crone or Hayden Smith, because those three are zapping away up towards Agostini and already got quite a bit of a gap over the rest of the field. You would expect it with these three to have shown themselves to be the class of the field, and even though he was the fastest yesterday, he still didn't quite manage to take the win away from Bruce Dunn, a former 2-stroke champion with this particular club in the Blue Haze 2-stroke a few years ago.
I wasn't listening, sorry, what?
Bruce was
Blue
Haze champion a few years ago.
He was, absolutely,
yeah. That was a class for basically the Grand Prix machinery, and again, this is an open class as well. You can turn up with a 500cc 2-stroke if you've got such a thing lying around your garage doing absolutely nothing.
Well, we haven't seen
some exercise.
Yeah, I remember Rick Ballerini raced one, didn't he, in RG500?
He rode the RG500, it was a Yamaha engine, was it? Dave Abraham's bike.
Dave Abraham's bike, yeah, and we saw Alex Simmons as well.
Alex Simmons, another Yamaha kind of thing.
Yeah, RG500 square 4.
That's right, yeah. So yeah, we have seen the old one trundle along occasionally, but they're not the most common thing. So it is to Chad Shiner who leads the way from Andrew Morris, and unfortunately it was Mr. Leatherland who's disappeared stage left. So unfortunately for him, his name tumbles down the order at a great rate of knots, which is good news for his championship challenges, of course, because Keaton missed the first round of the championship, then turned up at Alton Park, which was our second round of the championship, and promptly ran away with that. I think we got the lap record there as well. Very impressive stuff from Keaton. He took 3 wins out of the 4 races. Then at Donington Park, 4 out of 4. The other man who was doing the winning earlier in the year, Fraser Lysachenko, is no longer racing due to commitments called marriage. Really letting marriage get in the way of racing. You're not a true racer in my book, to be honest. Sean Crone leads the way in the championship we call the Open 500 4-stroke. His main challenger, Jake Donkersley's not here this weekend, not sure why. But Jake, we hope to see you back at some point and maybe challenging Sean for the top spot. Because again, you have had a couple of wins so far this year. Simon Harvey third in that particular championship, and Hayden Smith leading Damien Lee, and get this a gap of 174 points. So Hayden Smith looking pretty safe in the lead of that championship. In fact, that's one he could wrap up by Cabell Park if he keeps going away with it at that particular rate. So be interesting to see if we get a few more bikes coming out to play, because it's a good home for any sort of TZs, RGs, NSRs or anything else you've got tucked away at home, the odd KR1S. In fact, I'm surprised we don't see Andy Gill out in this particular class having a second run as well.
He's there.
Oh, sorry, he is. There we go. I do apologise.
There's Andy Gill.
Yep, no, I'm sorry. He is entered in this particular one as well. There we go.
close battle in the rookie 600s. 0.9 of a second covering the top three. Fastest lap of the race at the end of the first of the flying laps. A 2-minute 2.928 for the number 17 of Andrew Morris, the man who took a win and a second place in yesterday's first and second races. Rookie 600 lap record, a 1 minute 57.8, which isn't being troubled at the moment. We're about 5 seconds away from it, but still, it's not the lap records or fastest laps that score you points. It is your finishing position, and at the moment, it's the 282 of Chad Shiner, who is up there in prime position, 0.3 of a second ahead of Andrew Morris, with Sam Church, and my apologies, rounding out the top three as the Open 500s come across the line, and it's Bruce Dunn leading Hayden Smith by 0.6 of a second, but Sean Crone doing himself absolutely no disgrace there, 1.1 seconds away from the TZ250s in front of him.
Well, we've had 32 people score points in the 600 championship so far this year, but only 3 people coming into this round had actually landed a point score in every single race. And Andrew Morris, Timothy Roche and James Hargreaves. Well, James isn't here this weekend, unfortunately, but Andrew and Timothy most certainly are, and given the Keaton's disappearance in this race, that's certainly going to help them consolidate their lead. Fraser Lysachenko is third in the championship, and again, he's not here this weekend, wasn't at the last 2 rounds either. So Andrew Morris and Timothy Roche, they could well do well in this championship just purely by turning up, scoring points, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, just getting points. Andrew picked up his first ever win yesterday as well, but right now he's not looking good for the win unless he can just find a few more tenths, as looks like China has actually found a few tenths and gone 0.6 of a second quicker in sector 1. The gap was just 0.3 of a second between them over the line last time, but that's now gone out to a 1.3 second as Morris sets the fastest lap of the race with a 2:01.525. Ketteringham comes across the line in third place there. So looks like we've lost China somewhere along the circuit, because he's dropping back rapidly as Albert Hall moves into fourth ahead of Timothy Roche, then Hemphill. Or now Wright comes in across the line in seventh, and he makes up a couple of places as he's gone past on Waters as well. Waiting for the first of the 2 strokes to join us, which should be Bruce Dunn, who's not being up. There we go. Sorry, it was just a timing glitch. I did wonder if that was the case. We do get that occasionally, unfortunately, if batteries are a bit low or something like that. So that is Shiner who leads Morris by a second at this stage. Bruce Dunn over the line then. He has got a handy gap over the youngster Hayden Smith. 1.6 seconds is the gap between them, then 0.7 back, 0.777. One for you Boeing fans, Sean Crone. And they've already put a couple of the 600s, Aitken and Brown, behind them. Damien Lee should be next off the 2 strokes over the line, his little TZR development machine, which with a slight irony is slower than his regular TZR. Andy Gill there on the KR1S. Simon Harvey being very consistent, second in class at the moment in the 4 strokes. That's what it's all about, picking up those points bit by bit. Phil Gilu, who picked up a third place yesterday, currently 5th in the 2 strokes ahead of Ewan Bainborough and George Prinos. So the leader Shiner back into our view there at Murray's, coming across the line very shortly to complete lap number 4.
Just looking at the lap times for Sean Crone, yesterday's fastest for him was a 2:09 flat, and Sean Crone's done a 2-minute 8.4 on that previous lap, so that is at the moment, on this lap at least anyway, the new lap record for the Open 500 4 strokes. Sean Crone is quite some way in front of his nearest challenger in class, Simon Healy, holding firm in second position, and he does have Phil Gilu in between himself and Ewan Bainborough. So that is the podium at the moment for the 4 strokes. Sean Crone from Simon Harvey and Ewan Bainborough. But there's a good battle there starting to grow up. In fact, on that previous lap, Bruce Dunn just picking up the pace with a 2-minute 7.811.
What's the fastest lap we've seen in the 2 strokes so far this weekend, mate?
It was a 2-minute 6.867 yesterday for Hayden Smith in race 1.
Okay, so that's with Hayden's legitimately claim the lap record at this stage, because whoever goes fastest, as you were mentioning, in this particular class, 4-stroke and 2-stroke, they do get their name chiseled into the next program.
There goes Bruce Dunn, in fact. So that 2 minute 6.8, it's now a 2 minute 6.698 for Bruce Dunn. Hayden Smith, he's 3.9 seconds away now, and Bruce Dunn has found some speed in the last couple of laps, hasn't he?
He certainly has.
It was only about a second or so a few laps ago, but now it's opened up to nearly 4 seconds. Sean Crone side by side with Hayden Smith as they came across the line, and Sean Crone a 2 minute 8.346, just lowering that lap record in the 4 strokes for the Open 500s a little bit more.
So more than 2 strokes coming across the line as we watch the 4 stroke of Aitken drop a little bit further down.
Well, looks like we've got green flag on the exit of Agostini.
Okay, so somebody going wrong with something. And I tell you what, we've got somebody not tripping the timing beam out there, mate. Looks like Churcher, unfortunately, has decided he doesn't want to play anymore there. So there's Sam Churcher, who's not tripped the timing beam over at the back there.
Yeah, he came across the line 3rd position there as the top 2 come around now to complete lap number 5 of 7. So they are on the penultimate lap. Shiner and Morris across the line. There goes Cian Ketteringham, and it does look as though that unfortunately Sam Churcher, number 289, is dropping down the timing screen, and that will promote the number 65 of Albert Hall and the 55 of Timothy Roche. There goes Hemphill, number 63. He is 3.6 seconds away from the duo fighting for 4th place in class. As the race leaders in the Open 500s. In fact, Bruce Dunn, the race leader now, well out in front as he comes around Corrams. Still looks to be Sean Crone ahead of Hayden Smith as they go around Corrams and head towards Murray's. But Bruce Dunn, the man on bike number 14, as you said, a former champion in the Blue Haze GP class a few years ago. He went PB in sector number 1. His fastest lap so far, 2:06.6, and he improves to a 2 minute 6.534. So just lowering that new lap record even further. Sean Crone, a 2 minute 7.8. So again, same for Sean Crone. Hayden Smith only 0.3 of a second away from him at the end of that 5th lap. But we are on the penultimate one, and your race leaders in the Rookie 600 just going into the 2nd split now. In fact, there goes Shiner, and it looked as though it took a while for Andrew Morris's light to go out there. So Andrew Morris, who came across the line 3.7 seconds away from the number 282 of Chad Shiner, who so far this weekend has had a 3rd and a 4th. So to be in contention and potentially go home with a gold medal on the dashboard is a good way to finish this 3rd race, of course. We've still got an opportunity to do it again later on this afternoon.
Yeah, just having a look at the previous results. Ketteringham didn't join us until we went to Cadwell at the last round. He picked up 2 wins and a 2nd along with the DNF, so clearly capable of turning a good turn of speed. Got to work on the consistency there because his last lap was 3 seconds slower than his absolute best lap as Shiner comes across the line ahead of Morris by about 4 seconds. So Ketteringham, let's see what sort of lap time he turns in. He should be giving himself a good grip position for the next race, and maybe he can challenge for the lead because Netherlands will be starting at the back, of course, with no time, unless they will give him maybe a historic time, but I'm not going to go into the details of that because I'm never sure how that works. Yeah, 2:08.6 this time, so maybe there was a traffic thing involved there for Ketteringham as well, but nonetheless it's still a solid 3rd place ahead as he is by 4 seconds ahead of Albert Hall. Timothy Roche, the other consistent man, when he comes across the line in 5th, then it's Hemphill still there in 6th place as Wright comes across the lines with a very handy gap between himself and Waters. And then it will be the first of the 2 strokes getting there, or the Open 500s I should say, as there's Bruce Dunn who should be first across the line. And I just realised that Sean Crone went past on Hayden Smith last time round.
He did, yeah, and Hayden Smith was looking to come back at him as they went around Corrams into Morris. I don't think he got it done, but look how tight they are as they come across the line. Hayden Smith took him into the slipstream, pulls to the left, and certainly making his presence felt as he goes past and back up into 2nd position for the Open 500s. Of course, that is an on-track battle rather than in class, but they'll both have smiles on their faces as they came past. Only about 0.5 of a second between them.
Hayden Smith, your cover boy for the weekend after his efforts at Cadwell Park last time out in both this class and also in the Yamaha Past Masters. Next man on the front cover should be Aaron Sylvester after his brilliant efforts in the 500s yesterday and also today, and also of course in the 600s yesterday and today. much of the chagrin of Sam Hurst and the Team Valley team, unfortunately, as we saw in the earlier race. Sam lobbing it at the last corner when his front end decided it had enough of this working overtime, decided to disappear. So over the line everybody comes as Shiner now picks up the checkered flag. So well on Chad Shiner. I think that might be his first win in this particular class.
Yeah, certainly his first win of the weekend and his second podium.
And I think it might be his first visit to us this year, actually. So there we go. I wonder if he's just a late starter or maybe he's a local who's just coming out to play this weekend. If we have a quick look at our entry list, we can see where Mr. Shiner is. He's from Great Yarmouth, so he is a relative local chap. So whether or not we'll see him out of the next round in downtown Donington. Is it Donington we're back at next? Yes, it is. Excellent. Donington Park, the national circuit this time, of course, after being a GP circuit. So 2 different signatures if you are a novice and you need your signatures making up for you. That's the beauty of going to the same circuit twice. Unlike Stettenham, where we don't come to the 200. It's not felt to be particularly brilliant for whatever reason. I think it's very similar to the old Stettenham. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that. A bit more of a power drive circuit. So everybody else comes across the line in the 600s then. So Shiner, Morris, Ketteringham, Hall, Hemphill, Wright, Waters, Smith, and then